This episode is brought to you by Marqeta. When it comes to your payments provider, you can't afford to compromise. Marqeta's modern payment solutions flex with your business without the trade-offs. Stable and agile, secure and innovative, scalable and configurable. If they say you can't have it all, don't believe them. Your business demands more. Choose a payments provider that delivers more. Choose Marqeta. Visit marqeta.com/Spotify to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Sunday morning. Well, with us today is Jay Clayton, the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, traditionally known as the most powerful U.S. Attorney's Office in the United States. Well, how do I say it? Attorney Clayton? Or what's the proper terminology of addressing a U.S. attorney?
Well, I hope you call me Jay. I still call you Mr. Katzimatidis, though.
Okay. I mean, with your permission, I'll call you Jay.
I love it.
Jay, you're in charge of the biggest U.S. Attorney's Office in the country and one of the most powerful, traditionally speaking. And there's things going on in our big cities. And New York, well, we're in challenging times right now. Tell us all the things that you're doing to help making, our citizens safer.
Well, John, it's nice to hear the compliment about the office and the power of the office and hopefully the impact of the office. Where does that come from? That comes from the great people we have, the career prosecutors, the people who come there and are committed. But it also comes from our law enforcement partners in the city, the FBI, Homeland Security, the DEA, and most importantly, the New York Police Department. The value of the New York Police Department to what we do is really incalculable. And John, we all know that drugs are a huge scourge on society. We have 3,000 overdose deaths a year in New York City, close to 100,000 across the country. And I want to say that the commitment of the New York Police Department, the DA, and our other partners to do something about it is something I'm very proud of. And it culminated this week in a takedown of a drug supply and distribution ring that was making Washington Square Park, frankly look like the worst part of the city. And we're going to continue to do that. I'd be delighted to talk to you more about that, but breaking the drug cartels, breaking the drug distribution here in New York is a top priority for me because it goes to quality of life.
And President Trump is doing his part by what he's doing with Venezuela, and I don't understand why some of the politicians are really saying he's wrong. I mean, if Venezuela is sending in shiploads and boatloads of drugs to kill our kids, I mean, he's not wrong. And I also what he did in China by telling the President Xi that he wants to reduce the Chinese gangs with fentanyl to the Mexican gangs.
John, drug dealing into the United States and on our streets is not some fly-by-night operation. It's not some people freelancing. It's an incredibly sophisticated operation that preys on our citizens for profit. And you raised Venezuela. I look at the narco states in Mexico, Central and South America as the modern-day equivalent of the five families. They are coordinated, they are state-sponsored, they have unbelievable resources, and they will bring them to bear to protect their profit from the exploitation of the American people. President Trump, Secretary Rubio, they are spot on exactly what is going on south of our border, and that they profit from the death of Americans.
Wow. And you're absolutely right there. Well, if we solve our border problems with drugs, solve our border problems with migrants that were coming in, and I mean, Venezuela just opened up their doors and let in all the migrants that they're criminals.
John, I don't think the American people know. I'm not making these. This is not speculation on my part. We have indictments, convictions of government officials from various Central and South American countries who are deeply involved in the distribution of fentanyl, heroin, cocaine in the United States. It's also true that many of the precursor chemicals for the production of fentanyl inside the United States or close to our borders come from China. And the president is right to tell the Chinese they need to do a better job of stopping that.
And he did that, and hopefully that works. In addition, your relationship with the NYPD is good. You watch each other's back, and you do whatever you have to do. And let me ask you, are you concerned that, I know President Trump is concerned, that New York City might fall into the wrong hands as far as the mayor is concerned?
Let me focus on the police. As I look across the major cities, the large cities in the United States, everyone has a higher murder rate than New York City. I think everyone has more difficulty with drug distribution than New York City. We have big problems, but they would be much, much worse but for the New York Police Department. The New York Police Department, in their preventative policing, they're getting ahead of things. They're knowing where crime is going to take place. They're not only the best in the country, they're the best in the world.
I agree with you, and I pray and have been working very, very hard that we don't get the wrong person to be mayor.
Well, and let me say this: the New York Police Department does all of that with difficult headwinds. The inability to get detention of people who are charged with crimes because state judges are not allowed to consider. They're not allowed to consider the safety to the public when they make a detention decision. When I explain that to people, that when someone gets arrested, whether they are released or not, doesn't depend on whether they're a threat to the community, they can't believe it. But it is in fact true. It's something that every New Yorker needs to know and needs to think about. Is that really how we want to run the railroad?
Absolutely correct. What else concerns you about New York City? It's the greatest city in the world, and it's the capital city in the world. It's it's a place where all the immigrants came first, or just about.
Well, I took the subway up here to see you. There was maybe not another person in a suit on the subway. It concerns me that people don't feel safe riding our subways, riding our mass transit. When New York is clicking, when New York is hopping, people of all types from all places mix in the subways, they mix in the streets, they mix at the ballparks, they mix in the parks. That is what is most important about New York.
Let me ask you a state question. The fact that the bail law that passed in New York State, and it seems like nobody goes to jail committing crimes. Police officers are still filling out paperwork, and the criminals are released. I'm sure the federal government is doing more towards that.
Why did we focus on Washington Square Park this week and the 19 individuals who are collectively distributing deadly fentanyl? Fentanyl that we know resulted in the deaths of at least 3 people.
Wow.
Why did we focus on that? Because the people we indicted, and let me make sure this is America, people are presumed innocent, but the people we indicted had collectively over 80 arrests, 80 priors for drug sales.
Let me ask you a silly question. In the fentanyl that's in the marijuana that's going out today is viewed as 30, 40 times more powerful than it did was 30 years ago or 20 years ago. If people are dying, what happens to these drug dealers that knew there was bad product?
I think they've been indiscriminate to date. They are so profit-driven that you bring up a good point. We're noticing a reduction in overdose deaths, down from 100,000 to maybe 80,000, 75,000. Why is that? A couple things. One is Narcan and the availability of Narcan to deal with somebody who has OD'd. The other one is I do think that the drug dealers are calibrating just enough to get people hooked, but not to kill them. Think about that.
Well, I hope so until the day comes that there is no more drugs in America.
But they don't, let's say this, they don't care. They don't care about death. Because you know what? As alleged in the indictments that we brought down this week, the people distributing drugs online in Washington Square Park, they knew that they were selling drugs that could kill. It didn't stop them.
Wow. Well, United States Attorney Jay Clayton, thank you for everything you do. Thank you for protecting our citizens. And let's catch up again real soon.
Thank you, John.